Test Drive with Graham Fletcher.
This magnificent piece of roadway is the Pacific Coast Highway in California. We're here to test drive the two newest models from Mazda. This is the MX-6 Mystere, and this is the 1993 626 Kronos. The MX-6 Mystere and 626 Kronos are in essence 2- and 4-door versions of the same car, with the exception of a couple of minor changes. The 626 is marginally longer and slightly higher, the latter affording better headroom. Aside from that, the only real difference is the suspension calibration. The MX-6 gets a much tauter setup, in keeping with its sportier intentions. Both vehicles use independent struts and coil springs at all four corners, with sway bars both back and front. The rear suspension features Mazda's patented twin trapezoidal link setup. When you push the car into a corner, the system is designed to tow the rear wheels in to improve cornering power and grip. The result is wonderful. It allows the driver to maintain control when lesser systems would have long given up the ghost. On the trip from San Fran to LA, both vehicles, especially the MX-6, put on a splendid showing on some very tight and twisty blacktop. Mazda have dropped their old 2.2-litre 12-valve engine in favour of a new 4-cylinder 2-litre twin-cam 16-valve unit. Now, it's much more powerful whilst managing to preserve reasonable fuel economy. This car, on the other hand, is equipped with the optional 24-valve quad-cam V6. This 2.5-litre engine works wonders in this vehicle. The powertrains in both vehicles are the same. There is a 118 horse 4 or a 160 horse V6. Both are offered with either a 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic. The automatic comes complete with overdrive and a lock-up converter, plus Mazda's peculiar hold feature. By far and away the best combination is the 2.5-litre V6 matched with a 5-speed manual. When so equipped, the cars romp through the 100k mark in about 8 seconds. Perhaps the only comment I have on the engines is that despite the amount of horsepower and reasonably good torque figures, both lack low-end pull. You must surpass the 2500 RPM mark to get to the good stuff. Stopping power is provided by a front disc rear drum setup. The stops are fade-free, with the pedal being fairly easy to modulate. There is an optional anti-lock brake system, and as usual I recommend you invest the extra dollars. Elsewhere in the safety arena, a driver's side airbag is standard, and all outboard passengers get 3-point seat belts. On the 626 you also get child-proof rear door locks. In the rear, the 626 boasts ample head and legroom. The MX-6 on the other hand is on the tight side in both areas. The trunks on both vehicles are large, well-shaped and versatile, the versatility being supplied by the 60-40 split folding rear seat backs. The dash is of the analog type. As such, it is clean, clear and very easy to read. As you might expect, both vehicles are offered with a host of comfort and convenience features. They range from the one-touch down power windows through the steering wheel mounted cruise controls to the centrally mounted radio that comes complete with a tape deck. The ventilation system provides ample airflow throughout the vehicle, just as well considering the beautiful weather we enjoyed during the test. To improve the airflow in the 626, however, the two center dash vents oscillate left to right, a really neat touch. Thus far I've found very little to complain about either the Mystere or the Kronos, and so no pet peeve. Now, while you go to the scoreboard for a rundown on the 93 models, I'm off to Santa Barbara to do some serious shopping. When equipped with the 2.5-litre V6, both vehicles move along very nicely. For the record, the MX-6 with the V6 and a 5-speed manual required just over 8 seconds to eclipse the 100k mark. The MX-6 handles very nicely, with both understeer and body roll being very well controlled. By comparison, the 626 feels a little more willowy, but accomplishes the task with suitable aplomb, especially when you consider this is a family sedan. The brake system adopted always supplied straight fade-free stops. During the test, the stopping distance is averaged 118 feet from 80 kilometers an hour. Both vehicles offer a quiet, comfortable and compliant ride. Wind noise is kept to a minimum. The 4-cylinder engine noise gets quite loud at times. The V6, on the other hand, purrs like a kitten. The average fuel economy during our run down the Pacific Coast Highway was 9.8 litres per 100 kilometres. This figure is for the MX-6 with a V6 and 5-speed manual. These two new models should give Mazda just what they need, a volume sales car in two of the largest market segments. When decked out, there is very little to complain about, something that is all too rare these days.